So hello everybody, lovely to be with you today and thank you for joining. My name's Catherine. I'm the Senior Manager for Careers and Information in Durham University Careers and Enterprise team. So what I predominantly do was working with across the Durham University Careers and Enterprise team, managing certain aspects. I'm going to talk you through all of the support that we offer with little bits of advice and things that you can be doing now. But essentially just wanted to tell you mostly about the support that you'll receive once you arrive at Durham. So, one thing I wanted to really highlight is that Durham University is ranked very highly in the league tables, and you might have heard this in other sessions as well. We're ranked third in the Times for 2026, fifth in the Guardian, and fifth in the Complete University Guide. Also being named University of the Year for the Times 2026. The reason I mention this in a careers talk is one of the elements of rankings for these different university league tables is graduate outcomes, and that essentially is what graduates want to do after they've completed their studies at the university. So it's ranked on lots of different aspects, but it certainly takes into account outcomes, showing the value of a degree. So coming to Durham University, our graduate outcomes are ranked really highly. We're also in the top 100 in the QS World University rankings for employer reputation. So this is not just rankings within the nationally within the UK, but it is across the world, and we're in the top 100, 64th in the world specifically for employer reputation. So it is always worth thinking about wherever you go. It seems a little bit of a long way off thinking before you've even started university about what you're going on to do afterwards. But we want to make sure we support you in whatever that is, and that is highlighted and reflected in our graduate outcomes. So it's just something that I really wanted to highlight there, with also a link there to our Durham University employability page, which is open to you before you start, with little bits of information and case studies from alumni. On that note, we're lucky today to have alumni with us where we're going to hear from some of their own experiences and have the chance to ask them questions. So we're really looking forward to hearing from them. I'm really looking forward to hearing from them, and I hope you are too. But again, it's about highlighting what you can achieve after going to Durham University. So firstly, who do we support? Well, of course, we support Durham University students, and we support students from day one of your studies. So we are here for first years. It isn't just the case that we support final year students or second year students or people in their fourth year, depending on your degree type. We support you from day one. But we don't just support you when you're a student, we also support you as a graduate. We offer lifelong careers support. So no matter what stage of your career you're at once you leave Durham University, you will still have access to all of the resources and all of the services that we offer at that time, with some years access to one-to-one guidance support appointments as well, which I'll go on to talk to you a little bit more about. So it's not just that we support you whilst you're here, we support you whilst you leave. And that could look like support for graduates who maybe take a gap year after university or who haven't managed to secure their full-time graduate career role yet, or who might want to change careers for whatever reason early in their early after graduation. We will support you no matter what. But how do we support you? I've, for this presentation, slimmed it down to three main areas of support, which I'll talk a little bit more about. Firstly, we support you to explore your options. We help you learn about careers, employers, and industries with tailored resources that I will talk to you a little bit more about. And these are tailored to your goals, they're tailored to your interests. And we also have one-to-one appointments, so you can have impartial, confidential careers advice for you as an individual. This is helping to explore your options or helping you with anything you need support with in relation to careers. We also help you explore further study options and opportunities. So we don't just help people who are wanting to move straight into a graduate job. We help people who might want to study for a little bit longer, stay in academia, or maybe who need extra extra qualifications to achieve a certain career path. So we don't just help students move into jobs, we help people move into further study and some other options, which I'll talk about in a sec too. We help you to boost your skills. So we hold workshops on lots of different skills boosting, lots of different areas of the career plan and application process, all to help you prepare and boost your skills. We also give you access to exclusive opportunities, internships, mentoring schemes, and placements, which I'll talk to you a little bit more about, all with the aim of helping you to become as employable as possible to ensure that whatever you want to apply for, or whatever you want to go into, that you'll stand the best chance of success. And we also help you gain experience. So through some of the things that I've just mentioned, you will be gaining experience. But we also like to put you in touch with top employers at exclusive careers fairs and networking events. We also help you with finding part-time work opportunities and volunteering opportunities for you to undertake whilst you're at university. We support you with that as long as that doesn't impede your studies, but it's certainly something that lots of students like to do whilst they're at university, and we can ensure that you get the best experience possible and you can articulate that to employers afterwards as well. And as I mentioned, we don't just help students who want to get jobs, we help with further study, and we also help entrepreneurial students. So if you've got an innovative idea and you want to maybe start up your own business, we have enterprise development managers who will help and support you to do that. So it isn't just about getting a graduate job and being employed and working for somebody else. It might be that you want to start your own venture. We can certainly support with that too. And again, I'll explain a little bit more about what our enterprise team does and how they can support you in the following sections. Just before I get started with explaining a little bit more about this, I really want to highlight this video to you. This is taken at the Careers and Enterprise Centre, and this is existing students talking to you about some of the things that we do. These students speaking were student interns, so they were employed by us for a short amount of time whilst they're at Durham University, and they can talk you through a little bit more about what I've mentioned and a little bit more about what I'll go on to explain. So I'm just going to mute myself and play this video for you now.
Welcome to Durham University's Careers and Enterprise Centre. Whether you're planning your career, looking for work experience, or just curious about what we offer, we're here to help. Come on in, let's have a look.
This is where your journey starts. Our friendly staff are here to answer any questions you might have. We've got everything you need to explore your options.
From helpful resources to browse at your own pace to one-on-one advice, we're here for you every step of the way.
Need specific advice? Book an appointment with one of our career advisors in a private consultation room. They're relaxed and completely tailored to you.
Looking to build your skills, learn about work experience and job opportunities, or network with employers? We run workshops and events throughout the year.
A placement year is a chance to gain valuable work experience during your time at Durham. Our staff are on hand to help you find the perfect opportunity.
We're committed to supporting all students. Whatever your identity, background, or individual needs, we've got you covered.
So, whether you're ready to dive right in or just exploring your options, we're here to help you take your next steps.
We can't wait to meet you.
So hopefully you enjoyed hearing from our students there and seeing the Career Centre itself. We run a lot of events and activities from the Career Centre, but that is absolutely where you would go when you get a one-to-one careers appointment, or if you want to ask a careers question, as mentioned in the video. So just developing on some of the things that were highlighted in the video and some of the sections that I've already talked to you about, one of the main ways that we support is through helping you explore your options. So as mentioned, we offer impartial careers advice and guidance. These are through careers appointments, one-to-one with a qualified careers advisor. Any appointments that you have will be confidential and tailored completely to what you want to talk about. So just as mentioned, if it's you know exactly what you want to do and you maybe just don't know how to get there, you know exactly what you want to do, but you want to maybe practice some elements to make sure that you're as successful as possible in application processes, or if you have no idea whatsoever what you want to do and you want some support and advice, We are here for you. And the best place to go for all of those scenarios is to the Careers Centre for a one-to-one careers appointment, which when you arrive at Durham, you will be able to book. Our careers advisors also run a central programme of interactive workshops. So these are some of the key topics that centre around careers and enterprise and some of the biggest questions that we get asked. So how can I create a successful CV? Where do I look for work experience, internship opportunities? Can I have a little bit of help with career planning related to my degree choices or maybe outside of my degree choices? We run this central programme of interactive workshops that essentially changes year on year, and that's not because they're not tried and tested, but they focus on what you want help and support with. So essentially we listen to our students every year. We will listen to you when you arrive and help you with the help and support that you need. For instance, here you can see on the right hand side of the screen there are ad hoc sessions, for instance in careers and interpreting or navigating the hidden job market. These might not take place every year, but they take place based on the feedback that we get from you as students. You know, we want support with something in particular. I'm in this department and I'd like some more information on a career in this sector, and we'll do all we can to support you with that, either through your one-to-one appointments or through the central programme of workshops. You'll also see us in your faculty and department, so we collaborate with them. It might be that you have somebody, one of the careers advisors or someone from Careers and Enterprise actually delivering in your modules. It might be that you have careers elements in your modules that your department has worked with us on developing. It might be that you have specific employability modules in some departments and faculties. But generally you will see us, you know, when you arrive at Durham University and you're in your welcome talks, Careers and Enterprise will be there, because we'd collaborate closely with the faculties and departments too. So it's not just that you'll only see us in the Careers and Enterprise Centre, we will be out and around in university whilst you're here. And we run lots of different career insight events like the ones I've mentioned, and these change based on your feedback. So if there's anything that you are interested in when you arrive, please do make us aware, and we can always do the best that we can to match you with alumni, to match you with employers, and to help you hear about what life is like in that industry so that you can maybe decide whether that's the right thing for you or start to undertake some work experience in that area. Pardon me for a moment. We also have a great deal of careers resources. So these are resources that I created internally for you as students by Durham University Careers and Enterprise, or services online which we essentially work with to make sure that they're free for you to use. We offer careers resources to help you get feedback. So for instance, we have an online tool that you can use in your own time that kind of gives AI feedback on your CV, covering letter and LinkedIn profiles. We also work with an organisation online that helps you practice for recruitment tests and video interviews. These are the types of things that are very difficult to be good at naturally and do require practice. So we make sure we'll give you access to that for free as a student and a graduate. We help you understand your career preferences. So I've talked about kind of that's maybe something that you can explore in one-to-one interviews, but actually one-to-one careers appointments interviews, I should say, but actually it's something that can be really beneficial to take some time and reflect on in the privacy of your own environment. So we have an online tool that helps you to understand your career preferences, values and learning styles. This can be particularly beneficial for those who maybe aren't sure exactly what career path they want to move into yet. We can help and support people to find funding for postgraduate study. So if you want to continue your courses, we work with an organisation that helps secure funding for some of these opportunities. We also have personalised support for international students. So we have an international student hub that can only be accessed by Durham University students, and we run central sessions for international students also. And we also help any student who has any equality, diversity or inclusion need through our disabled and neurodivergent student support. Again, we have a dedicated webpage. We work with organisations that will support called Employability. So we really kind of take on board your personal circumstances, not only in the one-to-one guidance and not only in the central sessions, but actually with the resources that we create and update as well. And we also have an online tool that helps you explore worldwide jobs and internships. So bearing in mind that if you're applying for an opportunity in the UK, your CV might look a certain way, your application processes might look a certain way, but it can be very different when applying to different countries. So we actually have lots of different country guides for applying to opportunities in other countries, as well as links to where you can find opportunities in other countries, whether that is for a short-term internship in the summer vacation, for instance, or whether you want to start your graduate career abroad. We have lots and lots of different resources for that, as well as the support that we can offer as careers advisors too. So moving on to the next section, I mentioned previously we help you to boost your skills. So I just wanted to highlight some opportunities to help you develop at Durham University whilst you're here. Placement years at Durham University are a really good opportunity to enhance your CV and trial a future career. Some students might join the university on a course with placement year, taking your 3-year undergraduate degree, for example, to a 4-year undergraduate degree, because one of those years will be spent out in the workplace, earning money on a minimum of 40-week placement. However, even if you don't sign up for those courses, in most courses you can join that at a later date. So in your second year, you can transfer from a 3-year undergraduate course to a 4-year undergraduate course with placement year. And this is open to most students. The only exceptions are if you have a year abroad as part of that course, and then quite often you can't do a placement year, but that is very few. So it's definitely something worth considering. I don't want to get into it in too much depth because there is a placement year talk this afternoon. If you haven't already registered for that, have a look and see if you're able. I think it's this afternoon to evening. I think it's at 6 o'clock UK time today. So it's definitely worth going along to that if you want to find out a little bit more about placement years. They are a really good opportunity to earn money, learn new skills, build your employability, and even discover a new city or country, depending on where you undertake your placement year. And you get a whole load of support whilst you're undertaking a placement year. We have placement year managers who support you not only to find opportunities whilst you're on placement, but also return to the university with a returners event where you can meet other people who've undertaken a placement year too. Again, I won't go into that in too much depth because you do have a placement year talk as part of your open day talks today. We also have exclusive opportunities, so opportunities that are only available to Durham University. One that's running this year is Level Up, which essentially is a key employability strategy where we help students become as work ready as possible. So once they graduate, they can be the best possible candidates for opportunities. They have a really good plan of action going forward for what they want to do with their career. And anyone involved in Level Up has tailored resources, personalised support, specific events, quests and challenges, all with the view of helping employability. So it's often there's a quite a small internship, so a micro internship involved. So it is a way to not only boost your employability skills, but to meet employers and gain experience too. We also have global internships and volunteering. So even if you don't want to go abroad on a placement year for a full year, as part of your degree, you might want to think about working or volunteering in other countries, maybe over the summer vacation. So we have a global internships manager within Careers and Enterprise who will support you to undertake these opportunities essentially. And they're a really, really good opportunity to boost your employability, build your CV and gain work experience, but also to meet people from across the UK and around the world. So it's really, really good opportunity to increase your self-confidence while developing your problem solving. And these kinds of skills are really valued by employers. If you articulate well what you gained from your global internship and volunteering, employers find them really, really interesting, and they can absolutely value how well these opportunities can boost your skills and make you a good employer or make you suitable for roles that you want to apply for. So it's definitely something to think about with Durham University. Once you're here, if you're thinking about maybe volunteering abroad or working abroad for a shorter period in the summer vacation, we can help and support you with that too. And finally, in terms of the exclusive opportunities, we have a career mentoring programme. So this is for first and second year undergraduate students and works in collaboration with employers such as EY, a very large, well-renowned employer, and Hay & Kilner, which is a more local law firm. Essentially, employees from these companies work with students on a one-to-one basis. It's a really good opportunity to have a mentor to build your networking, to connect with industry professionals who can help and provide you with advice and guidance, whether it's in a field that you want to work in or not. It's a really good opportunity to start to build your professional connections and build your employability skills too. And gaining experience. So a lot of those things that we talked about there is gaining experience, but I just want to highlight a little bit more about meeting employers and starting new ventures. It's just a large aspect of what Careers in Enterprise can do and help you with once you're here. So we run lots of events throughout the year. Our employee services team work with employers who will run both online and on-campus events. And on top of this, we have dedicated careers weeks. So at the start of this term, we had STEM careers week, so science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Lots of different companies from all across those different sectors, but essentially within the STEM field, came onto campus throughout the week to offer networking sessions essentially with students, but also to offer a careers fair, which saw over 1,500 students meet employers. They're a really, really good opportunity to meet employers in your field across these weeks. As you can see, we've got STEM, law, business, finance and consultant careers week, which is actually this year, and Explore More Careers Week. So we do recognise that not everything that everybody wants to do falls within STEM, law or business, finance and consultant. So Explore More Careers Week will see public sector organisations, jobs in sustainability, roles within international affairs, lots and lots of different sectors, lots of different industries and lots of different job roles that maybe aren't covered in those sector specific weeks is covered in Explore More Careers Week. And we also have North East Regional Careers Fair, so we have employers locally who either want to help and support people with part-time roles whilst you're here at Durham, or who might want to recruit you if you want to stay in the area after completing your studies as well. So it is absolutely worth mentioning that the things do run across the year. We have lots and lots of events with employers, as I said, both online and on campus, and we do have specific sector careers weeks. But why go to these? Why are these important? And I think this is something that's really important to remember for now, because if any employer events come up for you, why should you bother attending? Well, I would say the key message for this is that you don't know what you don't know. So unless you go along to these events, unless you meet employers, you might not learn about their opportunities and recruitment process. You might find out going to these about roles and organisations that you've not heard of before or that you might not have considered. And if there are specific employers that you're interested in, it's a really good opportunity at employer events to learn about the skills that they value and consider what you might need to develop to be as employable as possible so that company might hire you when you graduate. Employer events are a really good opportunity essentially to seek advice and tips also to support you with applications for work experience, graduate jobs, with them and with other companies in similar sectors. Often at employer events at Durham, you'll meet Durham alumni, so you'll be able to hear first-hand experiences just like today. And it absolutely goes without saying that any employer events that you go to now or when you're at Durham is a really good opportunity to start building your professional network, as I've mentioned. So the more people you know in different industries, the more likely you are to understand your options, to be able to explore your options, and to make the best of these events again in future. We also, as a career service, advertise vacancies. So employers approach us and ask us to specifically advertise to Durham University students. For that reason, we have our own vacancy board, which our employer services team filter. We only advertise vacancies which are paid. But those vacancies sometimes are part-time opportunities, internships, placement year opportunities, positive action initiatives, and graduate jobs too. And you have access to our vacancies board both as a student and a graduate. In the last academic year, we had over 6,000 vacancies advertised across that academic year. So we do have a lot of employees approaching us asking to advertise to Durham University students. Some of these employers will only advertise to our students, and these are called Durham exclusive opportunities. So this is a really good opportunity to apply for a role that might have a smaller applicant pool, which again is only going to be beneficial. I mentioned also that we don't just support people moving into employment, we support people who have ideas and want to build their innovation. So if you're thinking about a startup or thinking about starting your own business, we have help and support with that too. Our Venture Lab supports startup coaching, workshops and events to build innovation and entrepreneurial skills, helps you get involved in competitions in the startup sector, in the ideas, in the innovation sector, and also runs an innovation challenge to help you build your skills if you're thinking about running your own business or starting up your own idea. It's worth mentioning that the past participants at our Venture Lab, so people who've gone and had support from our enterprise managers, who've gone on to feature on Dragon's Den, featured in Forbes 30 Under 30, and have also been finalists in the Earthshot Prize, which is a prize that was founded by, at the time, Prince Charles, who is now King Charles. So our Venture Lab hosts a whole load of activity and has some really, really successful startups which have been created at Durham University. So I've given you a lot of information about the support that you'll receive whilst at Durham, but also talked a little bit about what you can be doing now just to make sure you're in the right position. I want to start off this sort of final section by saying, do not worry. It seems a lot of a way off to be saying, actually, you've not started Durham University yet, but start thinking about what you're going to do when you finish. So I do want to say that none of what I'm saying here is because we want to cause panic. None of what I'm saying here is because you have to know what you want to do and you have to have plans in place already. But the earlier that you start thinking about these things, the better position you're going to be in when you have to start making important decisions. The earlier you might have some ideas about what kind of career path you want to go into, the more chance you are to be able to secure potentially work experience in that field, to help you test out that opportunity before maybe moving into that as a graduate career path. So what I would say in terms of your next steps is it's really important to remember that you do have a lot of time and none of this is a hurry and none of this should be a worry. But the earlier you start thinking about it, the most I guess, employable position that you will be in. So with this in mind, we have a really, really beneficial next step of today, essentially. Well, now I want to highlight to you that I absolutely recommend speaking to people around you. Speak to anyone that you know or that you might not yet know, but I'll talk to you about how you would find those, about how they found life at Durham. You know, hear it from people who've actually been there. Hear it from people who've actually studied here. And we're really, really lucky that today we have some alumni on the call who are going to talk to you about their experiences. So I am just going to get them up. I'm going to flick the presentation off the screen for a moment and I'm going to hand over to Adeola, who is going to share experiences and career path after leaving Durham University as well.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Just checking to confirm that everyone can hear my voice. Thumbs up would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So thanks a lot, Catherine. I mean, the overview for me was quite nostalgic, walking down the pathway and just remembering, you know, my experience and time at Durham. It was almost 10 years ago. I did MBA in Durham at the business school in 2015, and I finished in the December 2016. I mean, I was part of the Eastern of College, and I remember my journey into choosing Durham. At that point in time, I had worked for a little bit over a decade, and I felt it was time for me to refresh, learn, and equip myself for the next level. I was looking to moving into C-suite type roles, and I knew that I needed additional qualifications to enhance my CV. At that point in time, it was either between Durham and another university. And one of the reasons why I chose Durham was, first of all, the UNESCO, I mean, the location in itself. Durham is a beautiful place. It also has some UNESCO heritage landmarks that has also been assigned to Durham there. And I was going with my family. So I needed somewhere that, you know, that had the best of both worlds, the city-like experience and also some level of calm, sanity where my children would thrive. So I did my MBA there at Durham University, Houston of College, like I said, and I would summarize my experience in four major highlights. I think the first highlight for me was the experiences that we got with regards going to places like San Francisco and Barcelona for additional courses that we did. When we went to San Francisco at that point in time, that was when I was being exposed to the world of innovation. So it was a very rich and enlightening experience. The second was when we went to Barcelona, and that for me, one of the reasons why I particularly liked that experience was because it exposed me to the world of social enterprise as driving growth or development. And another highlight for me was also the opportunity to work on a youth focus project with the northeast of England, where we were trying to enhance their employability for youth. Then the fourth highlight for me was when I had the opportunity to intern with a fintech called Atom Bank. For me, then it was, you know, supposed to be opening my eyes to what was available in terms of innovation, digital innovation, especially when it comes to finance. At that point in time, you didn't have names like Monzo that you have today, Lemfi that you had today. Atom was one of the first few fintech operators there in England, and I had the opportunity to be part of their treasury team and help them put in place the guardrails they needed to put in place to, you know, to sustainably run their business. So those were like my four major highlights while I was in Durham. What have I done after Durham? I mean, it's almost a decade after, you know, a decade after I've left. I was in banking before I left to do my master's, and I did think that I was going to pivot and move away from banking. But when I got back into Nigeria, I'm based in Nigeria. When I got back to Nigeria, I got headhunted by another bank to help them build out their corporate and investment banking franchise in Nigeria. And I did that for 5 years very excitedly. Not long after that, I mean, 4 years into that, then I got a call to be part of a development finance institute, which is currently where I work right now. It's called British International Investments. It is a development finance institute that is 100% owned by the UK government. And what we do is invest capital. We like to describe the capital as patient and long-term in three specific regions. One of the regions being Africa. So I look after the investments that we make in Nigeria specifically within Africa. I think a lot of the things that I had done and part of the things I'd highlighted in my journey in Durham actually contributed to what I'm doing at the moment. I did mention about the fact that in San Francisco, I was exposed to innovation. In BII, supporting innovative projects is a key part of our investment thesis. I did mention when I was in Barcelona, I was exposed to social enterprise. Being able to invest in social enterprise opportunities in Nigeria is a key part of our thesis. Then I also did mention, you know, my experience working with Atom Bank as the fintech. Financial inclusion, digital literacy is a key part of our investment thesis. And those experiences, I would say, shaped or influenced the way I landed and my contribution at BII. So yes, that's it for me. It was an exciting experience being at Durham. 9 years ago seems like it was just like yesterday, and this presentation just was extremely nostalgic for me. We do have an alumni that we set up for my cohorts, which we have on WhatsApp group, and everybody is scattered across different parts of the world. You have people that stayed back in England and are working in England. You have people that have moved back to India. You have others in other parts of Asia. We're pretty much scattered. We were a group of about 20, and we're pretty much scattered across the world, but we all keep in touch quite regularly. So yes, it was an exciting time in Durham. My children remember it very fondly. My son was 4 at the time when we moved. My daughter was 8 at that point in time. Today they're both 14 and 18. So, and it's an experience that really did form them as well. And I mean, it was a great time in Durham. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Adeola. I'm sure everybody will join me in thanking you very much for sharing that. I think it was so interesting. I think it's incredibly beneficial to hear from you, being that you've been here at Durham. So it isn't just hearing about us talking about what we do, it's actually hearing from you and what you learned and what you've achieved from there, which is incredible. I would also say to everybody listening that Adeola will be around for any questions. So feel free to pop any questions in the Q&A for Adeola as well. I know that I've got some for her, no doubt as well. So just kind of moving back into the presentation and continuing on just a little bit more of advice that I have for you before we move into questions, in terms of what I mentioned about not panicking, but starting a little bit early. So if you want to make a start with your career planning, I've listed some websites here that are free, impartial, and openly available to you at this time and before starting at Durham. So a lot of the resources that I talk to you about and a lot of the services that I talk to you about can only be accessed by Durham University students and graduates. So I wanted to give you something that you can start with now before getting here. Firstly, the Prospects website, and if you just Google Prospects, it will bring this up, has a whole host of information that's free, that's impartial about working in the UK labour market. So it highlights lots and lots of different job profiles, and not everything is on there, but there's a really good breadth of the job roles that you can go on to do, graduate job roles, and it talks you through their UK entry requirements. So if you want to work in the UK after studying here or remain in the UK after studying here, it's a really good place to have a look at entry requirements, at things that are required to move into a certain profession here. Another thing that I would recommend looking at is what other UK graduates do with their degree. So we heard from Adeola about what she did with her degree there, but have a look at what other people do with the degree type that you're interested in. Again, that information is on Prospects. What can I do with my degree pages? So there's a link there that would take you directly to it, or even just Prospects, what can I do with my degree, if you pop it in a search engine. And finally, and importantly, have a look at what the destination data is by degree subject. So if you're interested in applying to a specific subject here at Durham University, have a look on the subject pages and see what our graduates have actually gone to do after completing that course. And you'll find data from the most recent cohort, which is 2022 to 2023 leavers, because we speak to graduates 15 months after they've graduated to find out what they're doing and what they go on to, whether that's further study or into a graduate role. So I just wanted to kind of highlight some things here to start thinking about your next steps before you arrive.